Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am loading up the Gazelle right now, and I was kind of bummed out that they didn't include much content really in the module, but I tend to like jumping in those free flight missions that you usually get with every module, and they didn't provide one, so I've provided one myself. I figured I'd give it a shot and make my own free flight mission. So here we are. This is Vegas, and this is my free flight over Vegas in the Gazelle. One thing you'll notice right away is that, man, does everything look really cool in a helicopter in DCS. Uh-oh. Not enough left pedal until I pick up speed. There we go. So I posted my first impressions, and I've gotten some mixed feelings about it. Some people like it, some people think I'm being a little too critical, but excuse me, I think they have a point. I do need to figure out how to fly this a little better. This aircraft is a little unique compared to other helicopters, and getting it just right, man, to do the auto hover is really a pain. Just to get it to do a hover so I can get into auto hover is the problem I have more than anything. So I got a lot of practice. However, I was really surprised by the number of people who jumped up and gave in so much awesome info, hints, tips, and suggestions to help out, including the developer, Polychop themselves, which I thought was really cool. And the one guy even offered to go online with me and help me figure out how to get this thing into a hover one-on-one, which that's pretty awesome. You don't see that very often. That's one cool thing, though. You know, as much as the flight sim community can seem like a bunch of assholes some days, like the debacle with what's going on when the DCS F-16 released, and everybody was crying about early access, and that became like a week or two long, you know, clusterfuck of everybody bitching, complaining, and fighting practically about it. But there are other moments like this where, you know, you'll find out of the woodwork comes all the coolest and super helpful people because they're as passionate about this stuff as I am. And that makes me feel really good, because that's the part of being in the simulation community and trying to promote the simulation industry that I like most, you know. Very cool stuff, man, for sure. So this is Vegas. As you can see, we've passed some of the popular Vegas landmarks on our way here throughout our trip. And in terms of flying this thing, I think it flies great. I think the problem is just getting it to hover. You know, I can make it go. I can even land it. I just can't slow it down to a complete stop and deploy the Hot 3 missile. That's the only thing. I've been able to use the Mistral, which is the air-to-air. I've been able to use rockets and guns in the, what is it, the L variant. I can fly the one with the minigun. It's just, you know, the M version that has the Hot 3 missile, which is probably the coolest missile, I think, out of all the things that this, you know, all the coolest armament out of all the weapons that this thing has. Yeehaw, right up and over. Now, one thing I noticed, I'm getting a little wild, I'm probably going to wreck it. The other day when I was flying this, I think I flew it outside of its capabilities because I went up and down real fast and I pegged the collective and the engine just kind of shit itself and choked out, and I just went into the ground. Although it's one of those things that you should probably expect because it is a simulation, not a game, you know? But in terms of flying this thing, I do thoroughly enjoy flying this. I'm getting used to it. Again, the only thing I can't do is stop it and be able to, you know, hold it completely still and do a hover. But I am able to fly it. I'm able to maneuver it quite well. I'm able to land it. Now, don't ask me to land it, you know, on a postage stamp or, you know, say, here, land it right there. I might get within, you know, 50 feet. But I can put it down usually without blowing up. Of course, now that I've said that and I'm making a video, you know what's going to happen, right? It's not going to end well. That's what's going to happen. One thing about Vegas, man, you got to watch out. There's a ton of these cranes everywhere. Whoa. And it's really hard flying anything that's a helicopter in DCS from the third person. So I'm just going to put that out there right now because I expect this to end badly for me. But it really does give you a nice view of Vegas in general here. And that's why I'm doing it. And the model's beautiful, man. Like, look at this thing. This thing is awesome. It's just a bear to fly from the third person. The Mirage, M-U-R-A-G-E. I think that's pretty funny. Oh, I might do it again. I better not do this. I went into that steep dive the other day with too much collective and it did not end well. I wish these fountains were going, or do they just go at certain times of the day? Oh man, that's what I should have done. I wasn't thinking. I could set the time of day. I should set the time of day for evening. And this lights up really nice. Like the Vegas map in general, downtown Vegas looks really nice at nighttime. But as you can see, you can really see so much more in a helicopter in DCS, in these cityscapes, than you ever could before in a jet. And again, you know, what am I doing? Like, if I'm lucky, I'm not even going 100 knots right now. You know, in a jet, I'm 500, 600, you know, F-15 full burn, 800 knots. I'm passing all this stuff up before I'm ever getting close to it. This is a ginormous airport, too. But again, just look, man. How awesome that looks. And I love me a free flight mission, you know? Call me crazy, but like that's the one thing that and I'm passionate and emotional sometimes about things, so that really did bum me out that like they didn't include a free flight mission. I don't know what they were thinking, you know? The module's great though. So they're very good at creating a simulation of an awesome helicopter. Maybe not so good at creating content for it. Although that's something that, you know, you would think the guys that can do that can create the simulation of the airframe would be the best person to create something fun to do with it, because that gives them the opportunity to really showcase the capabilities of the product they've created. So who better to create a mission than the developers of the module itself? And again, I know a lot of people were like, oh, what's the problem? You can just create the mission. I'm sure I can. I can create some probably pretty cool missions. But again, think of it from this perspective. If you're the guys that are developing it, wouldn't you want to come up with a way to properly shed light on and showcase your product to take care of, you know, showcasing its best capabilities? And creating a mission to do that would probably be the easiest and most cost-effective way to pull it off. So again, that's my way of thinking. It's not that, you know, oh, there's no free flight mission, you guys suck. It's, you guys missed an opportunity here, you know? And I prefer those free flight missions because when it comes to DCS modules, I think I've pretty much came used to having those. That's kind of the standard in terms of content with DCS anymore, if you ask me at least. That's what it seems like. And almost every module, you're able to go in there and get a feel for that plane right away just by doing that free flight mission. And that's how I do it. That's kind of my familiarity with the aircraft, is just getting in that first time and doing that free flight. Uh-oh. Just when I said I can land this thing, all of a sudden, it seems ever so slightly. There we go. Well, any landing you can walk away from, right, guys? I'll admit that wasn't the best, but hey, this is day 2 with the module. I think I'm doing pretty darn good, considering. So that's it, guys. That is the free flight over Las Vegas in the SA-342M Gazelle. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, my first impressions, the first few moments with it, I was angry. I was frustrated because, number one, it didn't have very much content. And number two, I can't get this thing to hover. And I'm able to do it with other aircraft. But it's just going to take some time. And the cool part is the community has been very helpful with giving me hints and suggestions and ideas. Even the developer has. So, bravo. Awesome for the community. And the guys over at the Helicopter Simulation Facebook group are just awesome, because that's where I kind of ran into the most help in general. But again, I'm going to give it time. And I don't hate this module at all. I think it's an awesome module. It's on sale right now for $24.99. Scoop it up. I mean, it's super cool. It's just the only thing I can't do with it yet is I can't fire those hot threes, because I have to have it in a hover and then auto hover so I can jump into that second seat over here and deploy the weapons. That's the only issue I've got. And again, like I said, there is a lack of content, but hopefully they will address that. And again, even if they don't, you can create your own missions, and there are a bunch out there, I guess, on the DCS forums. I'm just not the guy looking for that most of the time. And honestly, most people don't. I think first impressions mean a lot. And maybe I come from that, mindset and era that when you got a product and it was a finished product, you got X, Y, and Z. And it's very hard sometimes to get used to the releases of modules through DCS World, being that none of them have a standard in terms of what's to be included, yet there is almost the unwritten standard, I guess, where almost everyone that I own has a free flight mission. Almost everyone I own has a number of missions for at least the default map. And this one is probably the lightest in content out of all the modules I own, and I own a lot. So, again, it's more of an observation at this point, I guess, because, yes, you can create your own, but I think it leaves, it's a missed opportunity, again. And the average person that's just getting into DCS might see that and go, oh, that's what I get when I buy an aircraft? That's it? And it's really not, because everyone's a little bit different, I guess. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. There's no point in that. The Gazelle is awesome. It's a lot of fun. And I'm going to have a lot more fun with it as I learn how to do more things in it. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. As always, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and until next time.